Good afternoon and welcome to a Mitch'nandMauck'n About the Cards podcast. I'm Mitchell and joined as always by the owner and proprietor of the Superstition Ranch in Arizona where it's WrestleMania Night 2. And if you can last longer in the ring than any of the matches we saw on night 1, free appetizer tonight. Tyrell, more on that here in a bit, but we missed Thursday's show. I was on the injured list with this cold congestion thing, kind of recovering, but had to answer the bell today. While we were gone, though, the Cardinals have won 4 in a row and have a chance to go for the sweep today in Houston, currently leading as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Tyrell, what's your thought there as the game is going on today?
Hey man, they're doing it all with small ball. They're doing moving the runner along, doing everything they should to win the games, and I approve. Let's go. 4 run inning earlier and 4 in a row. Make it 5 tonight. We're on a winning streak. Let's make night 2 of WrestleMania better than night 1. Let's kick ass and keep going. I love it.
There are a few concerns, though. The positive, of course, being Mason Wynn is starting to show signs of life at the plate finally. He's back over the Mendoza line. I got the game up on my phone on the MLB app, and out of your regulars, Burleson hitting 288, Walker who's hitting 300, even though he is 0 for 3 today with 2 Ks. Nobody else is hitting above 240. That's a concern currently.
It is, but they're also taking pitches. They're working the counts. I mean, you can even say Weatherholt's hitting 236, but the dude's got on base so much and been such a dynamic leadoff hitter for them and putting them in positions to move the runner along and do what they have to do. Is that what we're going to have to deal with? Is the this day and age of baseball? If you're going to play small ball like this, you're going to have a less of a batting average and more of a on base percentage, I assume. Then
That was a good point, though. The clutch hitting has been better. Today's a great example. 14 in a row retired by the Houston starter, and then all of a sudden, hit, 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 walk, clutch hit. And sometimes that's all it takes, especially with a young team. You brought up an interesting point there about taking pitches, things like that. And that kind of transitions me to our next thing. Did you watch Heimblum's interview yesterday? Or did you see any clips of those?
I did not. I was all fully focused in on WWE yesterday, so I didn't really look into it too much like that.
Well, first of all, he's much more personable than Mo ever dreamed of being. I like listening to him talk. I feel like he's more transparent with the fans. The first comment I want to touch on is that's what he said, something kind of you just mentioned. They want to wear teams out. They want teams to be exhausted by the time the series is over. Very reminiscent of the Whitey Ball where they're taking pitches. There's always pressure on. And that's where they want to be at as a team. And that's kind of their identity.
I kind of get that. I kind of see that. That is kind of an old school approach to what they're trying to do. But I mean, you also got to play to the strengths of what your organization has brought to you. And I think the speed, the fundamentals to move the guy over. This is not going to be a power team. Jordan Walker might have 8 home runs and eclipsed his last year total, but I don't. That's not what this team's going to be. He might be a la Jack Clark from the 82, 80 to 84, but he's not going to be. They're not going to be just roll you over with home runs.
Yeah, no one on the squad's going to hit 40. I'd be surprised if someone hits 30. But if they can constantly, like we mentioned earlier, just get on base, run out of time, and just constantly put pressure on teams, by Sunday, that team is exhausted. Or the third game in a series, they're using that 12th, 13th arm in the bullpen, and they're done. Because that's the guy you don't ever want to throw. And that's a great example today of kind of how they've been playing. Brings me to his second point that I thought was interesting. Heim said that he didn't blame the fans for not showing up. Their payroll is always a tight attendance, but it's his job to make them want to show up. He said, and I'm kind of summarizing here, that ultimately the Cardinal fans don't get turned off of Cardinal baseball, and it's their job to put the butts back in seats, and he's going to do that. And he said that ownership, when it's time to make a move, is willing to make a move to get them over the top. Is it just fan speak, or do you believe him?
That's fan speak, especially for this year. That's just fan speak. They're not gonna pony up. They've never ponied up. They're an organization that, as they've stated in previous press conferences, they're going to be draft and develop team. They're not going to go out there and get those big stars. They're going to have to draft and develop because so much as their payroll is tied to this attendance, which for the longest time, we were giving him 3 million plus. So I understand why they went that model because baseball's model is kind of broken, which is all why we're going to have this shutdown next year. I don't believe it. I'll believe when I see it. The only thing I've ever really seen them pony up on his prospects. They won't do free agents.
But and he admitted that this was the transition year. But you don't think in 2 years when they're ready to compete, we'll have somebody that if they need that, ace pitcher, if they need that bat, they'll go get it? Or is this just the new era now that we're going to have to just deal with?
It's a new era you're gonna have to deal with, man. The Cardinals have never been that team that goes for the high free agent or is willing to go for that extra mile for that guy. They like their mid tier or just below elite. They don't go for the top guy. They're never going to trade for a Paul Skeens or a Tarek Skubal. They're never going to do that. They're going to get these guys younger. Like, I mean, Wainwright we got when he was young, so they see the development. So I don't see them. I don't see them doing it. They had their chance in Max Scherzer, so they can't say that they're one of those people that's going to go out and do that when they've never done it before.
To be fair, they did it with Matt Holliday. But that was 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
09 season, I believe Matt Holliday came up.
Think so.
So almost 20 years at this point. Mo had a lot of flaws, and we talk about Mo's flaws, verbatim, but he always could pick up a reliever that was solid at the deadline. But they would they would never make that move to go for that big guy that could put him over the top. Soto, Juan, for example.
And they never, even when they had they would always get the guy when he always is like, he's a resurrection project. Like, oh, he might have one more good year. Like Andrew Miller, like you knew he was spent before we got him. You just, we've got a name now. We're just chasing names who might be Greg Holland. Hell, Dexter Fowler wasn't Dexter Fowler anymore, and we got Dexter Fowler. If you want to get down to it, so it's. I would probably say the only one that you could go back to is the Matt Holliday because you can't go back any further than that because what other moves did he make other than that one? And heck, that I don't see that one working.
And there's not. And baseball has kind of changed. You don't really see superstars moved at the deadline like they used to be. And we'll definitely hit on that in July. But I would like to think that maybe, the team's competitive in 2 years. Now they'll go get someone to help. Probably not, but maybe. You said, the 3 million fans again. Do you think they're going to hit 2 this year?
If this team plays exciting baseball like it's doing right now, yes, because I think it's maybe not away games, but I think you're going to see Busch start to fill up more and more. The way this team's playing, the hustle they're giving, everything that we're seeing is who this team is. The first 2 weeks that we've seen, I think you will start to see Cardinal fans come back because of this.
Summer's coming. 4 more weeks of school left. I think once they kind of get past school, the fans will show up more on a Tuesday night than they were before. You'll see the weekend series start to fill out. Unless you're paying those premium ticket pricing. I just saw the advertising. The Dodgers are coming to town. I didn't even look up what those tickets were going to be because I would love to see Ohtani. It's the only one my daughter knows, but I'm guessing those are going to be at a premium.
Yeah, and then also if you want one of the cool giveaways, sometimes you got to have like a theme night ticket too, which is extra dinero out of your pocket for you want the cool giveaway, which is kind of crazy too.
Nickel and dime, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Nickel and dime.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to America in 2026. Our new weekly segment, as we are just going to start, it's called Free Jimmy Crooks. This week, another 3 home run week for Jimmy, looking good behind the plate. The Cardinals had the Cardinals were playing the night game last night, so I watched Memphis. Leo Barnall was actually playing first to try to get him some at-bats, so Crooks is behind the plate. You never wish an injury upon anybody, but Paez took a nasty shot today in the head. Surprised they didn't knock him out, and then looked like he kind of pulled a hamstring running around the bases. It's April. We haven't even gotten to May. We haven't got to Mother's Day. But how much longer is the Paez experiment going on when Crooks is just crushing the ball in Memphis?
I think who one of the announcers is always called it might be Claiborne. They give it till Flag Day in May, and then that's how you really know who your team is and how they're going to produce and what their identity is. And I think if you continue on this path where Paez isn't hitting, and you had seen earlier that the pitchers were actually going more Herrera with the ERA and everything like that. So I mean, if it keeps going this way, I think you have to. I mean, he's beaten down the door to come up, and if a guy's hot, you have to, and another guy's cold, you got to bring him up. And how ironic would it be if you get Jimmy Crooks up in May and he eclipses Weatherholt, who's been our number one for the last 2 years?
Herrera's not hitting the ball either, by the way.
Not
I
really.
mean, Herrera's
Yeah.
barely hitting over 200. But if Crooks could come up and just hit 250 and be average above the plate, like that's already, you got so many dead spots in your lineup as it is. Basically, JJ getting on base at a pretty solid clip, Burley hitting 288 and Walker hitting 300. That's it.
Yeah.
6 outs otherwise.
And the part of the reason that we love Nolan Gorman is he's left-handed power. But if you get that from your catcher, hey, you've just opened up a utility spot where you can get a Fermin or Urias, who's actually got some good pop on him. He hit a rocket the other night, so I'm not against playing him more at third base. Hell, Sajasi, but at third base. Get something going. We got to find a new dynamic for this, because if this isn't going to work, but I think bring him up, free Jimmy Crooks. Let's go. I like the this new segment we're on.
And we'll do it every single week until he is called up. Live look in today's game, it is the top of the 8th. Jordan Walker is at bat currently. Just took his time out. Trying to pull it up. It's 1-2. Fouled it off. You know, I'm pretty excited. A sweep against Houston, who's also kind of struggled. Their pitching has been atrocious when you kind of look at how they've gone. Olivia's looked great today. I don't know how much of the game you've watched. I'm probably out in the pool because that's where you are every time I try to talk to you. Olivia's looked solid. I'm kind of surprised me. He doesn't have a win yet.
Yeah, I think I said to you the other day he's probably gonna go 7-9 because it's gonna be one of those years where he like doesn't get the run support until like they pull him out of the game and then Cardinals come back from behind and win, but he only gives up 2 to 3 runs every outing. I think he's looking good. I have been granted, I think Libby's probably a 2, maybe a 3. He's not your ace of your staff, but hey man, he's been going out there giving it all, and I can't fault him, so keep it up, buddy.
Swing, and there's, go baby, get up. Get up. It is off the wall. Walker's got a double. Little action going here in the 8th.
Bro,
If Libby can even just develop into being the workhorse, where he can give you 180 plus, that is just as valuable as a 3-4 guy.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you look at, kind of it transitions great to our next topic, the broken Dickie Fitz. Lat strain surgery. He is going to be out now for the season. Liam Doyle has been terrible in Double-A. ERA pushing 8. Where's your depth coming from now? It was supposed to be Fitz. It was supposed to be Dobbins. Now you've gotten Dobbins. Team Kings got roughed up the other day too. Gave up 7 runs. His fastball's only touching 90.
Ooh, dangerous.
Yeah, where's the pitching depth coming from? Because Pelletier looked good last night, but Houston again is struggling. Leahy looked all right, but how long are these guys going to hold up, especially in the St. Louis heat?
Takaya Roby's coming back from UCL surgery. Tommy John, Quinn Matthews, Cooper Jerpy. Like your depth's not there right now, and that's a lot of what they traded for early on in the offseason, was trying to get depth in this pitching staff to help us out and invent this situation. And I think they were hoping that everybody in the AAA would stay healthy and would come on. I don't know where it's going to come from. I think you're probably going to see, if Dubar comes back, gets healthy, or shows he's healthy, I think he's going to be moved for pitching depth in your minor leagues too.
What about going out and getting a veteran 4 or 5 starter who's going to be able to cover those innings? Several years ago when they were out of it, they made moves left and right, essentially for those veteran guys to go cover some innings. Do you see them doing that at the deadline, or is it just going to be a move to basically Dustin May? JoJo's looked great out of the pen. Somebody's going to overpay for him. And now Riley O'Brien even has looked like a solid closer for somebody who's going to need some pitching depth.
If it's a guy on an expiring contract, yes, I can see that happening. And they don't have to give up too much for that. I think they'll be doing for that, because I don't see them moving a lot of prospects just to get a big name or somebody with a lot of eligibility left, because I think they see a lot in our bullpen coming up in the minors. And with the strike, I don't see them doing too much in that aspect, honestly.
Wade LeBlanc, that was the name I was thinking of. That's a name in Cardinal history. And didn't they pull off, was it Lackey, the same one? No, it was John Lester.
John Lester, yeah. Yeah.
And they got ridiculed for that, but those guys just covered innings, and that's really where they're going to have to be at, I think, come July, because these young arms are not going to hold up. And the new Cardinal way essentially is pitching injuries.
Yeah. That's what it feels like. Hopefully they get some guys on the mend coming up. Like you said, Hunter Dobbins is pitching today, and he's working his way back into the major leagues. Packy Naughton went out, so that depth evaporated quickly.
It didn't take long at all for that to kind of evaporate. After the game today, they're headed down to Miami, another struggling team. Miami is 9-12 before today's results. This is a chance to really build, Tyrell. I mean, get 5 in a row and then go play 3 in Miami, where you could possibly a sweep there, or even 2 out of 3. Tomorrow night, McGreevy on the mound, and then you've got, I'm trying to customize my view here on the MLB app. That's the wrong date. I'm a week behind. Dustin May, and then followed by Kyle Lee. So you got 2 really good shots there.
You do
early.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and I think that's been their motto this year so far, is win the series, and they've been doing that a lot. And I think that's what's helped them get to where they're going. But hey, man, you could roll this into 2 in a row, so you have a 7-game winning streak here. I can see them taking 2 out of 3 from Miami.
You're a half game out of first place. Like you said, you don't want to get too excited because it's still April. Flag Day is kind of, it was Shannon or it was Claiborne, one of the two, who always said Flag Day was your first checkpoint, then the All-Star break, and then Labor Day. Or if you're first place, then you're in great shape. A half game out behind the Reds, I still think is better than what we kind of all expected at this point. I realistically thought the record would be flipped at this point.
I thought the same thing, and I didn't know the Reds were going to be playing like this either. I didn't think the Reds were going to be as good as they were. I mean, good young organization. I just didn't think they had the pitching depth. I thought it was going to be your Cubs, and the Cubs have faltered outside of the gate. So, hey, the Central is always up.
Are we back to where the Central is really good, or is it that old comedy Central where it's going to take 85 wins to win this thing? Or is somebody going to pull ahead this summer? I thought Pittsburgh would be better.
I thought they would too. I think you're back to your almost comedy Central a little bit, because Milwaukee's sold out on some guys. Chicago went all in, and I mean, they've got a good young core, so they're trying. Had a little pitching problems. I think you're back to 85 to 88 wins is going to win this division again. I don't think you're going to have that year you had the Pirates with 102 wins and still didn't get into the playoffs. Got knocked down that wild card.
Those were the days, right, where you had 3 teams with 90 wins and nobody was getting in. St. Louis and Houston used to fight it out. Now 85 to 90 is probably going to get you in. And if the Cardinals playing at this clip, they're on pace for 93 wins. Are we waiting for the wheels to drop off, or is this sustainable?
I think, like me and you've kind of talked, I think this is exactly going to be the team that they are. I think they are going to be a young team that does not know that they're out of baseball games, so they're going to keep fighting and keep working at bats. And they've bought into this Brownie strategy of work the at bat, get the damage when you can get the damage, do that type of stuff. So I think they're going to go on these streaks of a 7-game winning streak and then lose 4 in a row and then go on another, a tear where they're going to get win the next 3 or 4 series in a row and be right back in it. So I think they're going to be probably right around 500 team, really logistically by the All-Star game. And then we'll see where they're going to go from there.
July 31st, you're 2 games out of a playoff spot. You buying or selling?
According to Time Bloom in that interview, the Cardinals are buying. I hope they buy. See who's available. Let's see who's available at that time, to be honest with you. And then I'll tell you if we're buyers or sellers.
And that's going to be the key.
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be some veteran they can snag for on the cheap that's not going to cost them a big prospect? You hoard prospects hoping they all pan out, but you got to move somebody at some point.
You're going to have to move one of these catchers at one point, dude. Like, at some point, one of these guys got to be moved.
And now's the time.
Yeah.
Now's the time to move a catching prospect before you get to the big leagues and realize that they can't hit, they're not this, they're not that. I don't think it's Crooks, and I don't think it's Rodriguez that gets moved. I think Bernal's probably the guy. If you're going to move somebody if you're 2 games out, I think you go for it.
I think you have to. I mean, it's in baseball, such a sport of you got to do it now. Like, you can't wait Like if you're in a position to win, you got to go all in. You can't just screw around like you have in the past.
Want your big league roster to know, hey, we see you guys busting your ass. All right, let's go get you some help.
Yep, 100%.
Even if it's a minor thing, with let's go get another shutdown reliever. Let's go get a bat that can, pull off the bench, because Gorman has been atrocious. Right now, you're looking at your everyday 9 when you count the DH. Third base is a spot that needs the biggest upgrade. Church playing left today. The glove sticks. The glove plays perfectly. He is a plus outfielder. Is it keeping it? Probably he's made 2 great plays today. Probably just keeping it warm for Baez. At least that's what our hope is. But third base is where you got to have some pop, or at least a plus defender. And Gorman is neither.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do about that. And that's one of those things, like we mentioned, that like you got to reward your big league club. Like that's a Walt Jockey thing to do, and they have not made that big move to show, hey guys, we believe in what you're. Hell, 22, they could have made a move and been like, hey, we were going to reward you, and that was our closest chance to get back into where we needed to be in 22. That's neither here nor there on that, but I hope they do. They should, and that's but. I don't know where you upgrade there, man. Like, what are you going to give up to get him? Like, are you going to give up your Bernal to get and package something to get because they're gonna want a young one, to be honest with you, or somebody with an expiring contract. And I don't know what guy puts you over the top unless you're going to go. Do you think Ryan McMahon with the Yankees giving him an extra bit of scenery?
That's probably the type of move, but he's probably making way more money than what they're willing to pay right now. Nolan Jones out in Colorado, maybe, but he's kind of moved more to left field. See what Tampa's willing to trade. Boston.
Yeah, we know they love Boston.
Suspects. But it really is going to be kind of come down to see who's going to be available come July. And we talked about, I think, in text. What would this team look like with Brendan Donovan on it?
Oh man, I know you. And such a utility guy, and you could in Gorman coming off the bench or being DH. You have a solid third baseman who can drive the ball. Your doubles hitter, God, put him in third, fifth in this lineup. My goodness, what a better overall lineup it looks like.
Is the record any better though with Brendan Donovan right now? Like, how many wins is he worth right now? What are they? 14-8?
No, I don't. I think that's probably the same. To be honest with you, they are kind of all gelling pretty well. So I mean, I don't.
12-8. Excuse me.
12-8. Okay, I don't.
But how many more wins is Brendan Donovan worth than what they're at right now?
1.
Are they 14-6?
Yeah. I mean, what? I mean, yeah, 14-8, or yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't see too much difference, honestly.
So maybe it was a good move. We'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
That
because the couple of guys they got from them, I can never pronounce this guy's name. The ambidextrous pitcher is looking pretty solid, and then Ty Pete is knocking the heck out of the ball.
just hit for the cycle the other day, didn't he?
Yes. He's got 4 tools. He could be a guy in a couple of years as well in that 28 run.
Yeah.
He's you talk about buying prospects for sports cards. I am holding that one. And JoJo just gave up a bomb. It is now 4-2.
Okay, that's all right. I'll give those 1-run home runs. I'm okay with those. That's fine.
Surprise, Yordan Alvarez.
Dude, he hit one yesterday, and I was like, woohoo! Boy, does he got some power.
Much like Beltran, there's some guys who just kill the Cardinals. Beltran did it for a decade. Alvarez seems to be doing it now. Just some guy. Chris Bryant always did it to the Cardinals too.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Talk about a guy who fell off. Let's go off script for a second. What happened to Chris Bryant?
I think injuries and then signing that big contract. I think a lot of his was attitude a little bit because he was so mad at the Cubs about the whole doing his service time thing, service time manipulation. I think that would drove him a lot. And then when he got his contract, man, injuries just plagued that dude. Plus, Colorado was on the way down. Why did you go to Colorado? You should. Bad career move there, really.
I think he's retired now. I think he's out of baseball completely.
Yeah, what happened there?
Let's talk about our other passion here. It is night 2 of WrestleMania. WrestleMania 1 left a lot of desire, especially if you get on social media. They called it Commercial Mania. 3 hours of live coverage. I believe it was 122, or excuse me, an hour and 20 minutes of mat action for 8 matches.
Yeah.
They pulled it to 2 nights to not burn the crowd out of the 4-hour show. And instead, we get less than an hour and a half. You had title matches going for 8 minutes. You had, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton blading within the first 6 minutes of it. And you inserted freaking Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee into a storyline. And I don't pretend to know what's going on with WWE anymore. I watch the Rumble, I watch Mania. That's it. I'm not a Jelly Roll fan. I think he makes music for people who got, court supervised visits for their kids, but that's my own opinion. I just don't understand what I was watching last night. I was not entertained whatsoever.
No, it was really lackluster. And even at one point, we even said it. I was like, what is going on right now? All I'm doing is getting commercials. Like, this is so fast paced. It's not even like, what is the storyline? And it just went so quick. I wasn't lackluster. It's a great way to put it.
It looked like, and this is going to date both of us because no one who watches is going to remember, it looked like a bad episode of Nitro, the old WCW show.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
I mean, you got ads all over the ring. You've got, and it's like a lot of other companies, once you get sold, everybody's just trying to worry about the bottom line. The crowd was dead for the most part. I wonder if they're going to rewrite night 2 tonight, the big one tonight, the CM Punk match. But I don't know, Tyrell. I'm going to watch it. That's why we're shooting the show in the afternoon because the pre-show starts in about 30 plus minutes. What do you think? Is it going to get better?
It can only go up from here, right? It can only go up from here. So, you were kind of low last night. You're going to get some good matches today, I hope. Yes, it's going to be better. You're going to have Reigns and Punk are going to. I'm actually looking forward to the Brock Lesnar fight.
See, I think that's going to go two ways. Either they're going to feed, is it Ozo? Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Either they're going to feed Brock to him or the other way around. It's going to be a squash. And it's on Big ESPN2 the first hour.
Yes, and I think that's the other thing that got weird to me because they announced that now we're switching over to the app, and I was like, what does that mean? Do I have to switch to an app, or is it going to work okay through my Xbox right now? Like I guess my TV app. Like what are we talking about here? It got very confusing, and I don't, like you said, everybody's got their hand in the cookie jar right now trying to make their bottom line. So it's going to go up from here. It's going to go up, and I think Odie's going to win. Obi's going to win that one. Let's go. Obi. I can't remember his name.
I am glad I don't pay $50 a fight anymore to watch those on pay-per-view.
Yeah. That's for sure.
I will say that is one thing about the current subscription model that I do enjoy. That my regular subscription covers a lot of this stuff. $40 a month is what we were paying for Rumble or we were paying for Mania there at the end. Now I'm paying like $20 my regular ESPN Disney Plus package. I think I'm paying like $12 to Netflix, which I'm excited about. The Ronda Rousey Gina Carino fight coming up later this spring, which we will probably talk about that in depth at that time. So that is kind of nice. You can watch all the UFC cards on Paramount now if you're a fight fan. We get our Paramount Plus for free through our Walmart Plus subscription.
Heck yeah.
So there are a couple benefits of it. Instead of paying $30 a fight, but still, I feel like the quality has dropped because of that as well.
Yeah, dude, quality's dropped on everything. I mean, we were talking about T-shirts yesterday and how their quality's dropped out. So, yeah, it was. I don't know what was going on last night. It just seemed like they didn't want to expand the storyline out and make it work. Like they weren't working the crowd that well. It was weird.
Our other weekly segment, Old Man Yells at Cloud. We like things the way they used to be. One night of WrestleMania, big matches, full crowd, tell a story, give me 20 minutes of entertainment. Get rid of the designated hitter, all these other things. Old Man Yells at
Cloud. What else are you supposed to do?
Which will become we'll start throwing that in every week. Little trivia time, though, for you, and I know you didn't look at the show notes, so you didn't do the research. Name every opponent Hulk Hogan ever had at WrestleMania.
Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant. Let's go. I got one of them.
Okay. No. The Giant was twice.
Okay.
WrestleMania 3 and 4.
Okay. I'm gonna say he had to do Ric Flair. No. Wow. Okay. Did he do Macho Man? Okay. Why does Sergeant Slaughter come into my brain?
WrestleMania 7.
Yes. Oh,
good pull.
I'm lost now, but I want to say Jimmy Snuka for some reason too. Okay.
Let me go in order because I'm super nerd.
Let's go.
Cowboy Bob Orton and Paul Orndorff, WrestleMania 1. WrestleMania 2, Bundy. 3 and 4, Andre the Giant. 5, Warrior. 5 was Macho. 6, Warrior. 7, Slaughter. 8, Sid Justice. 9, there's 2 of them. Tag team with Brutus Beefcake against Ted DiBiase and IRS. And then Yokozuna. Didn't wrestle starting from 9 to, I believe it was 17, The Rock. And then Vince McMahon.
Yeah. I forgot about the. Yeah, that's some polls right there. I forgot about Sid Vicious. That was another one I forgot about. Yeah.
That was the one where it was supposed to be him and Flair, but their shows were terrible, so they pulled it and ended up being Macho Man inserted into that. And that's about the time I stopped watching wrestling because there was this thing that I found called Girls. And so I stopped watching wrestling till about middle high school. WrestleMania 14 is what actually got me back into wrestling. I was months after the event. I was at the old video store, if you remember those things. And there was a copy of WrestleMania 14. I was like, well, I'll watch this. And it was the birth of Stone Cold. Got back into wrestling.
Bro, yeah, that's what got me back into. My buddy actually got the pay-per-view and we all went over there to watch it. It was my first shot of Hennessy too, which made me yeah.
Oh.
His mom had left, so we got in the liquor cabinet, we watched WWE and drank a shot of Hennessy, and I was Yep.
Cell phone generation, man. Tell me kids have it better today, though.
Heck no. Ain't no way.
If you didn't watch The Undertaker and Stone Cold and all those guys while you're breaking into the liquor cabinet, eating like some pizza.
Casey's General Store pizza too, bro. We didn't have Pizza Hut.
And that was the other thing, too. I was talking to some kids, like, what do you guys do when you hang out? Oh, we just sit in the basement and, like, just hang out, talk on our phones. Like, what? They just play on their phones, like, in public. Like, they're all together. They just sit on their phones.
I don't get it, man.
We're not the Life 360 generation where, listen, like, we were drunk in a field somewhere on a Saturday. We didn't know what was going on. Going 80 miles an hour down some gravel road with some dude you just met. Some 30-year-old guys hanging out at high school parties.
I love that dude. He gave me cigarettes and beer all the time.
Kids today just don't know what it was like to have to go to the gas station and wait outside and get $20 for a 6-pack. One's missing and you got no change. Maybe this is why we Life 360 our kids and they got their location on their phone because shit like that what we did.
Yeah, I think me and Casey were talking about that yesterday about how we what we all did and how we try not to let our kids do the same stuff.
Finally tonight, the NFL draft is Thursday. Tyrell, I'm pretty excited. The Chiefs pick early this year. Hopefully it's something that doesn't happen very often. Got me thinking, outside of Pujols and Yachty, that's pretty easy. Who would you say is the best draft pick of all time in St. Louis?
Was he an actual draft pick or did we trade for him?
Oh, that's going to tie the game. O'Brien in the 8th year. Houston's going to tie it at 4.
Who'd it come off of?
I was Padres.
Okay. Okay.
Draft pick
Bob Forsch.
ever. Not named Paul Yachty. Bob Forsch.
Yeah.
Okay. Solid pull there. Gibson wasn't actually drafted. He was signed. I'm going to say Ted Simmons, Hall of Fame.
There you go.
Keith Hernandez is another one up there.
Yes.
And just a favorite, Ray Langford.
Most home runs of Bush 3 or Bush 2.
Completely underrated Cardinal because he played on such bad teams in the 90s. And then his best years were behind the McGuire sideshow. Hey, are you pulling moonshine at 1:30?
I mean, hey, it's WrestleMania weekend, bro. That's what I got to do.
I noticed the mason jar there earlier. I was like, the show's almost over. We're drinking White Lightning on a Sunday afternoon.
I mean, why not? Go big or go home.
Funny story about that is we kind of get into our booze talk. Several years ago, this is before I had kids. Before I had kids. My wife was out of town. My cousin's wife was out of town. We're drinking in the backyard. His wife's from Tennessee. He had legit Mountain Dew White Lightning. Couple pulls of that. Didn't know what was happening. I make it back to my house across the street. See him the next morning. He's getting ready for work. I'm a teacher. It was summer. And it's like, what happened? He's like, passed out in the yard. The rain woke me up. It started to rain, and that's what got him up. Off the what? We were hammered in the backyard. Had to call a buddy to like go pick us up more liquor. The pizza guy in Mexico, Mo, took a couple shots as a
Heck
tip.
yeah. That's how it
Awesome.
goes, man. That's a good delivery grabber right there.
The great story about that, my cousin Kristen, her grandfather actually did a couple months in the pen for bootlegging back in Tennessee. So that's how you know that stuff was legit.
Yes, that's that fire
Like
stuff.
drink the whole thing. You're probably gonna go blind. White lightning.
Oh, I love it, man. We used to. I had a little mason jar that I'd take with me to the bar, and I'd do little shots of that before I'd actually go drinking. That was my pre-gaming, was shots of moonshine. Yeah.
Not the stuff you buy in stores, like legit, like this was made in some backwoods Tennessee hills type stuff.
It's gonna run your lawnmower. Yeah,
100%.
that's the stuff. That's that stuff makes you tingle all your extremities. You're like, woohoo, here it comes.
And once again, kids today would have no idea about it, or even the 20-somethings going out drinking would know nothing about it.
Kids nowadays don't drink. They're not down with it anymore.
When we say kids, we mean like the early 20-somethings.
Yeah, like it's not the same drinking culture that we once had.
This generation calls in sick after a night of going to work. Yeah. How many nights in college did we go out till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, shower, and still show up at 8 o'clock to our Toys R Us
Damn right, dude. Every time. Hey, we got to unload truck in 2 hours. All right, that's fine.
Guess it's time to go home.
Oh, wow, that's 2 hours from now. I guess we'll okay. See you in a little bit, bud.
What those children didn't know about the crew at Toys R Us in the early 2000s.
How much fun we had, though.
Selling toys, hungover. Most of us still drunk on Saturday morning.
Yes, we were.
Everybody was making the rounds with each other. Just like things the way they used to be, Tyrell.
Old man yells at cloud, bro.
Old man yells at cloud. That'll wrap us up. Thursday night, we'll be back with the NFL draft on in the background. We'll kind of talk about some picks as they go through. We'll kind of give a rundown of the Miami series. Almost time for some WrestleMania pregame show, as well as watching the end of the Cardinals game. They are now tied 4-4, so that one might go all night. For the Mouth of the West, Tyrell Muck, I am Mitchell Jenkins, and we will see you Thursday.